Howdy, hey, hello, it's McKenna, and this is another episode of Munch and Mingle. I am so happy you're here, and I'm so grateful to be here. It feels like I haven't got to do a little episode, just me, for a bit, and I love it when I get to. I'm grateful for the guests that I get to have come on, but I also love these little moments that I just get to talk to you. Okay, I am so thrilled to go over this topic today. It has been a experiment that I've been trying for the past, I want to say, month. I think I've done it for the whole month of November. When I'm filming this, what is today? The 26th, 27th? And you'll be hearing this the first day of December. We are here, the last month of 2022. I cannot believe it. But anyway, so what I wanted to talk about today, what I've been trying is a word called Hue-gah. And I'm going to get into it. I've got some other little things, we're going to go over the munchie and do a little catch up on some other things. But that is what this episode's going to be about. Now, before you start going in your head, maybe I don't need this, I don't know what this is, just trust me on this. If you could see my, where I'm recording right now, the atmosphere that I have set, it is so warm, so cozy, so inviting, and it's just giving me so many good vibes. And that is what Hue-gah is. And honestly, this is something that I strongly believe is going to help anyone out there, myself included, with seasonal depression. You know, right now it's December. We're in the great time of happiness and lights and presents and family. And then before you know it, January and February, sometimes March, depending where you live, are knocking on your door being like, hello, get ready to be sad. So I firmly believe that this is something that can help with that. And I got to go into it, but let me get through the other things. So just stick around. I promise you won't regret it. So our munchie is going along with the theme today. Currently, I am in the process of trying to find a perfected homemade recipe. I'm doing, my munchie is hot chocolate, and I did do one. I had the hair girls come over for our monthly activity, and I made some there, and they liked it, but I didn't. It was good. I just think I'm probably going to go back and try it again. I was using semi-sweet chocolate. I'm going to just use plain milk chocolate because that's my fave. But tonight we are just using the Stevens hot chocolate. You can pick it up at Costco. I'm pretty sure Walmart or Target have it too, but I get the big ones from Costco because of Hue-gah. I now have what is like a little habit or a ritual that I'm having almost a cup of hot cocoa a day. So again, I will explain. Just bear with me, okay? And as I'm like saying this, I just thought of something that I'm like, oh wait, don't forget to talk about that. Okay, sorry, don't mind me. All right. Anyway, with that hot chocolate, I claim I make it a fancy hot chocolate, homemade or Stevens, whichever. I do the whole frothy whipped cream. Oh my gosh, my dishwasher is totally draining in the background. That's what you're hearing. But I totally get the frothy whipped cream and marshmallows, and then I just sprinkle on some cinnamon and chef's kiss. It is one of my most favorite things that I look forward to every day. So go get yourself some hot cocoa. I have some now as we're doing this episode, but it's just, so good. Okay, I just wanted to do, like I said, a little catch up since I haven't got to be able to just sit here with you guys. It feels like a lot has happened. Thanksgiving happened, which, by the way, I was so grateful that day. I was just thinking, because I knew I was doing this episode, but I was just thinking of my podcast, and I was thinking of all of you who have been here, whether from the beginning, whether you found an episode and now you're here, you're just hearing this for the first time. I am so grateful for you. And I'm also going to be starting my period here soon. So I think I'm even more emotionally grateful for you. Like I can feel my little tear ducts like tingling, like, ooh. Anyway, I was just in a full state of gratitude that I was like, I have been able to do something that is what I've wanted to do for so long, a dream of mine, a goal of mine. And there's actually people who are here supporting me along the way. That is so awesome. And so to you, yes, you know who you are. You're listening to this right now. I am so grateful. McKenna Hogan is so grateful for you. I love you. And I hope that I can bring any sort of happiness or life or laughter into your life. But again, just thank you for being here and supporting me in all that I do. With Thanksgiving, I was actually able to make some rolls, and I feel like that is a very right next to the turkey. No, I'll even say mashed potatoes is like the rolls. You know, when you think of Thanksgiving, you think of rolls. So I was very like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm doing this. I was up at 3 a.m. Thursday morning because I decided to do sourdough rolls. And as I don't know if many of you know this, sourdough is the most tedious bread making thing that you can do. Normal yeast bread takes about, I would say, a good 1 to 2 hours, maybe even less. Sourdough can take you up to like 6, 7, 8 hours, depending on your recipe, depending on what you're doing. Oh my goodness. So yeah, and I was making 48 rolls, which is actually only half. My Aunt Kim was doing the other half, but I was like, oh, that was a lot. So that was my Thanksgiving. They turned out great though. Everyone loved them, which was so great. But it was pretty good Thanksgiving. Next thing, holiday prep. You guys, we are officially in December. It feels like I was just putting out my episode yesterday about like, okay, here's what you're going to do for the next 3 months. And now we're here to the last final month. I hope everything has been going great. If you've been able to follow it, I really hope that it has been able to help you with what can be the craziest, most stressful time of the year and really do just that, the opposite, I guess, make it less crazy and less stressful. So that now this last month of the year, you can just enjoy being together, getting filled with anticipation and excitement for the end of the month, also for the beginning of the new year. That is truly my hope and what I wanted to do with that whole timeline. Now, obviously, if you're just starting now, trying to get everything together, try as you can, just get it all done so you can just have even just like that last week before Christmas just to really soak in all that December is and truly what the reason for the season is, because I know that that's truly the best way to end the year. So another thing on top of that, so my timeline was basically have all your shopping done before Black Friday. Well, Black Friday, which was yesterday as I'm recording this, sorry, I had gotten this cute mock turtleneck. What do they call them? Mock turtleneck, where it's not full turtleneck, but it's still like halfway. Anyway, got it from Walmart. Guys, it's so cute. It's from No Boundaries. And I feel like if you've seen it or you have it, you know exactly what I'm talking about because it is an amazing shirt. I think I had 2 colors. Well, my sister-in-law, Meredith, she saw me wearing it and she's like, did you get that from Walmart? And I was like, yeah. She's like, I have one too. But I wanted one in black and white. And, you know, with Walmart, sometimes you don't know when they're going to turn over their wardrobe. So I was like, I'm going to get up at 5 on Black Friday just because that's when I normally get up. They'll be open. I might as well just go. Maybe they'll even have a deal. It's more just for me, like I'm just going for this. So I got there about 5:15. There was a straight up line outside and not even that many people. It was like 5 people. But I was looking at my watch and I'm like, I thought Walmart said they were going to open. And don't they usually open way early? But they weren't going to be opening until 6. And so I was just like, well, what do? I don't want to just go home to turn back around. I'm already out. So I looked up what stores are opened early on Black Friday, and the only one by me that was open at that moment was Kohl's. So I was like, okay, I'll just go look at Kohl's. I just want to see what all the hubbub is. And I go in, and it was, I mean, there were people, but it was not crazy. It was just like as if I went on a normal, slower shopping day. When I went to check out, there were about like 6 people in front of me. Yeah, I ended up buying something for Bo. So I was like, okay, I mean, we were technically down one gift for him. So I was like, okay, I'll just go get this. And they did have some good deals. So that's where I just got it. But I asked the associate there, I'm like, how's it been? And she's like, oh, it's been relatively, really chill. And everyone was really like normal. I wasn't feeling any aggression or anything. So I was like, okay. So I go to Walmart at this time, and it was so weird, you guys. There were like so many more associates than it felt like customers. And I'm talking like I walked in and I could see the electronics all the way at the back, and there were associates on every aisle. Not like the register aisles, there were those too. But if I were to like walk straight back, when you go into your Walmart, you're walking in and there's just basically a straight aisle back, but you have all those side aisles on your left and right. There was a Walmart associate on it was so weird. It was on every aisle. And I came in on the left side of the Walmart entrance. So everyone who was coming in on the right was like, I would say there was good about 20 people. They were all getting their carts and going down that straight line. So I just was like, okay, yeah, everyone's here for their electronics. There was no one in my clothes sections. I was able to get my black and white t-shirts. There was no sale on them. I was like, okay. It was just on the electronics. So when I left, they were checking receipts, and I just asked the associate there, I was like, so do you feel like it's been crazy? Has it been normal? And she's like, oh, no, this is nothing. Remember they used to open on Thanksgiving night or early Black Friday morning, and there would be people rushing in. She's like, no, we don't even have any of that. And there were like police officers there and everything at the entrances. But she's like, no, this is really chill, and most of the deals are just on the electronics. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, then later that day, about 9, I had a pickup order at Target, like groceries, that I had made the night before Thanksgiving. So I knew I was going to have to pick it up Friday. So I go, you guys, this is Orem, Utah. The entire parking lot is slammed, like so many cars. And I'm just like, I mean, I get it, Target, but where the pickup aisle was, there was no one. So I got my own little spot. The girl comes out right away, and I just ask her, how you doing? How's it going in there? And she just was like, oh my gosh, it's a madhouse in there. I was like, really? She's like, yeah, we are completely out of carts, like grocery carts. There are none in there. Every single one is being used. So while we're talking, I'm seeing like Target associates running out to the bays outside to get more carts. And I was just like, wow, really? And she's like, oh yeah, I've also already been cussed out today. And I was like, well, it is 9 a.m. on Black Friday. Why are you getting cussed out? And I guess there was someone who was parked in the pickup lanes, like across 3 parking spots. And so she had to go and be like, hey, can you just move into one? And she got called a B. I was like, okay, 'tis the season, my goodness. But she said, yeah, there's a lot of aggression in the store. People were just kind of like maniacs. And she even said, I'm just confused. The deals that we all have going on right now have been going on for the past month. So I don't understand why it's like, oh, we have to get it now. And she also was like, why are they not doing pickup? Because you can do that. And I was like, yeah, that's a very true point. So I was just like, maybe it's just the hype. But when I went home, I was just like, wow, this is why we shop before Black Friday. I strongly believe that, I think I said it in my holiday prep episode, that there are better deals, if not the same exact deals, Labor Day weekend that you see Black Friday. And they end up doing the sale so much earlier now. I noticed my timeline actually lined up with a lot of sales that were before the actual Black Friday, and I did not plan that. So that was great. Anyways, that was just something I observed Black Friday that I was like, yep, I'm going to probably keep doing this where I don't really go out shopping on Black Friday, where I have all my shopping done. And okay, sorry, we're getting into the last thing. If you were on my Instagram, I posted it today, but it was just a video about my little service project update for my toiletry kits for the hospital. And we are coming into the last week. When you hear this episode, it will be like just a couple more days. Again, so thankful for everyone who has helped me with that. Just watching these kits come together is just melting my heart that you guys have wanted to help me with this. If you still would like to contribute, of course, we are accepting toiletry items. That's on my Instagram. I want to have this all together by the 5th of December. So if you're in the Utah area, I can do pickup. You can do drop off. If you would rather just Venmo me and I just go and grab them, my Venmo is Sunny Mac, MAC13. And if you watch the video, you understand why I've had to actually get over a huge hurdle giving out my Venmo for this. But, all right, you guys. There's my catch up. There's my little, okay, here I am. I think I just only have one guest coming up for the month of December. And then the next 2 episodes, I could be wrong, or just me. But I know the last episode for the month is. Okay, Hue-gah, we're here. So when I saw the word Hue-gah, it was on Pinterest. I was looking up Christmas things at around the end of October. And randomly out of nowhere, this post said how to bring Hue-gah into, or have a more Hue-gah Christmas. And I saw that and I was like, what is that word? Never seen it. And oh, sorry guys. I think I just got a hair in my mouth. But I just was like, okay, whatever. I must have clicked on it because over the next week, I think I would see another one pop up, another Hue-gah thing. But at this time, I was saying Hygge because it is literally spelled Hyggge. So I just was like, what is Hygge? So finally, I think I clicked on a post and I was like, wait a minute, it looks like a really cozy Christmas. So it kind of like sparked my interest, like, oh, just making it more cozy. Well, that then led to me starting to like kind of research. I found some articles and then I found a lot of videos on YouTube, which I highly recommend, how to, or like Hue-gah lifestyle videos on YouTube. They're great. Oh my gosh, guys, while I'm filming this, so Britton is currently in California right now. He has a football game like in 45 minutes. It's that late. But so I'm trying to hurry and do this, and my phone's already blaring up like, okay, where are you watching it? And I'm like, oh gosh, here we go. Sorry. Go to Sweetie. He is starting. Everyone look for 87. By the time you hear this, the game will be over, but in spirit. Okay, so like I said, so I started researching it. The videos were really great. There are so many good videos that people put out there, and it's like, oh, every time I would watch one, I want to do it. But basically what the gist of Hue-gah is. It is a word from Denmark that the Danish or the Danes use because in Denmark it gets super cold, super dark in the wintertime. And so they use this word Hue-gah to basically describe a way of living, especially during that time. Now, it's not only during the winter months. You can very much live a Hue-gah lifestyle during the warmer months, but it specifically hits home or does more good during those times that can be harder. Because let's be real, in spring and summer, most of the time it's just easier to feel happy. It's not a given, but it's just a little bit easier than during the dark, colder months. So honestly, in this past month that I've been using little ways to bring more Hue-gah into my life, I honestly can say that I am so ready, pumped even for January and February, even March to come. Some people kind of rope March into the winter months. which in Utah you very much can because it could still be snowing. But in my head, I always rope March into spring and May is summer. So March to me it also has St. Patrick's Day, which is one of my favorite holidays, which we'll talk about next year. Why? But anyway, but January and February, those can be the hardest months. Because November and December, you've got the holidays, but January and February, it's like nothing. Okay. So because of this way that I've been using Hue-gah in my life, I really think that it can be just that, like a cure for seasonal depression. And I would love to say like, oh, I found it, but obviously the Danes have, because they've been doing this for a while. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to explain, there's two types of aspects to Hue-gah. There's an aesthetic, a way to like bring it aesthetically into your life through your home. But then there's also like a lifestyle way to live Hue-gah. So I'm going to go through the aesthetic way first and then through the lifestyle, because I want to end on that part, because that's the part that I really feel is life changing. But I want to define exactly what Hue-gah is. Now, apparently there's not really an exact word that translates from Hue-gah into English, but a lot of the times the word I hear associated most with it is cozy. And the definition that Google put up for it is like a quality of coziness and comfort that brings a feeling of contentment or well-being is what Hue-gah is. And when you start watching videos on YouTube about Hue-gah, you will hear that definition over and over and over again. And something else that you will constantly be referred to is a book. It is called The Little Book of Hygge by Meik Wiking, and Meik is spelled M-E-I-K. He is from Denmark. And apparently Hygge made its way over into the US between 2015 and 2016. I guess it made its way to the UK and then came over to America, but it got really big. And so I've asked a couple people about it. I've found like people who are about 10, 20 years older than me. If I said, oh, have you heard of Hygge? They would always be like, oh yeah, I have. Not a lot about it, but they had heard about it. But anyone my age or younger, no one's heard about it. So, and I mean, hello, I was in that. I had no idea. But it got very popular back then, but now it's just kind of like subsided. So anyway, what I'm going to go over aesthetically and the lifestyle, a lot of that does come from this book. And like I said, when you go watch these videos, you will see that book commonly resorted back to. Now, the only thing, I have not purchased that book because I feel like I've literally read it through all these videos, but I've also seen, I typed in Hue-gah on Audible and there's so many other books that come up too. So I'm kind of interested to see some of those other ones. Not that this one wouldn't be good, because I know, right, whenever you're watching a video, it's just getting that person's perspective, which you could say the same thing about this episode. But you do what you got to do. Okay, so first things first, and building a Hue-gah-like aesthetic. You're going to want to have a spot or like a little nook that is going to be what I'd consider your happy place. Now, Hue-gah is all about bringing those good vibes, happy feelings. So for me, it's if Britton goes to the gym early, I'll stay in my bed and I'll put a lamp on, and that is one of my Hue-gah spots. But on the days that he stays home or he doesn't go to the gym that early, I then will come downstairs and I'll sit in my recliner and I'll have my Christmas tree lights on, and my railing where the stockings are, there's a light with garland on those, just those on, me in my recliner with my hot chocolate. Oh my goodness. It is something that is so happy. Like that, those are my places. So think of something like that where it's you can stay for a good 30 minutes onward. Like you're comfy, you're cozy, you're feeling that. That is the spot we're talking about. They also do talk about hot beverages. Apparently that is a thing in Denmark as well with Hue-gah. So They talk a lot about, coffees and teas, but they even say hot cocos. Like, I'm a hot cocoa girl, so that is why I've had one every morning. But it really, I don't get it. There is something about it though, having a warm, hot, whatever beverage in that place that just like completely adds more to that atmosphere. And that's really all these things that we're going to go over right now, is building that atmosphere, that ambiance really. Okay. So next thing is candles. Now we might get a little like, oh, I hate candles. Oh, it's toxic. Don't get me wrong. I'm not disagreeing with you there, but in Denmark, I think they are the number one country who goes through the most candle wax in the entire world. I'm pretty sure. Like, they have candles everywhere and they use them all the time. So that's a big thing to what they say to Hue-gah. And I honestly, right now I've got candles right next to me and it's building this atmosphere. So that is really big. And he goes into a lot about the lighting of your atmosphere, your ambiance. And not only does he talk about candles setting the mood, which jokingly, but that's what we always say, right? When you're trying to set the mood, you light candles. But instead of just always setting, that type of mood, like bam chicka wow wow, we're talking about, oh, okay, I'm just sitting here and I'm chilling. Like, that's the mood. Candles can do that too. So that's what they're talking about there. But they do go into lighting. That is a big thing. They talk about lamps. Obviously candles, string lights, strip lights, anything that's going to bring that warm lighting. They have a really big thing about like no overhead lighting. More like, if it's during the day, open your blinds, right? Bring in that natural light. But as the sun's coming up or when it's going down, you start putting on your lamps, you start lighting candles. You're not using a lot of your overhead lighting. And as I was doing this, I realized this is something my mom has done my entire life. My mom, I would always say, oh, Mom, you always make our house feel so homey. And now I'm realizing, I'm like, oh my gosh, it was Hue-gah. Like, as I've been doing my whole little thing with my lamps and my candles, the Christmas tree, my hot cocoa, my sitting in my recliner, that is my mom. Like, I have this vivid memory of high school when I would get up at 5 and I would come out like getting ready to leave because I don't know, whenever school started, sometime at 7, I would be like walking out at 6:30 every morning. And that is where my mom would be in her recliner with a lamp on. She'd have a candle lit. She'd be drinking her coffee and she'd be like reading the Bible or another book or writing in her journal. And that scene is so vividly etched in my mind because it was a constant. It was her ritual, but it almost became a ritual for me because I would walk out to that and be like, oh, like we're easing into the day, but this is a good feeling. Like, I want to stay here. So I was really grateful that my mom has instilled that with me because I've always been a big, supporter of warm lighting. Especially since we are property managers at the property we manage, there are some units that have that very stark white overhead lighting. Now, tenants can change it. When we first moved into our apartment, ours had that too. And I was like, that will be being changed immediately. Like, I couldn't even live in the unit longer than 24 hours before changing that. But, we'll do when we drive around or coming back into the property night, I see into people's like living rooms and they still have that lighting. And I just look and I'm like, that is so harsh. Like, how can you calm down when you have that bright white of light? Like, it just doesn't even set the mood. So I am a very big, big fan of warm white. I'm not saying you need to go that weird, eerie, like yellow lamp. No. The warm white. That is your game plan, and candles because they already provide that. So big part on lighting with Hue-gah. As far as the candles, you can have unscented or scented. It is your choice. Just beware, if you're going to use all scented candles, you might get a headache. Okay. So just be aware of that. I got on Amazon literally what is unscented candles, and then I just use my diffuser which we'll get into that because they'll talk about scents. But okay, next thing, you want to add life into your place. We're talking plants. Now, they say obviously if you can do real plants, that is going to be like preferred. Okay, because you want something that's actually living. You want to bring life into these areas, especially since we're just going to say these are for the winter months. Again, we know you can do Hue-gah in summer, but this is for seasonal depression. That's why I'm doing this episode for the winter, colder, darker months. Okay, so we want to bring life into these areas. Now you can do fake. I do not have a green thumb. I've got 2 little boys that I'm watching after. I'm like, nope, we're going to be doing fake. One day down the road, I will get some real plants. Another thing that they talk about is wood, bringing wooden items. And at first I was like, why wood? Like, why is that a thing? But it's the same concept of like, where did wood come from? A tree, life. And it honestly, the more that I've added little, like a wooden table, something with like wooden legs, like just those little things here and there, it does definitely add more life to a space. So that's something. And then they go on to textures. Now this is kind of crazy one. So they were talking about like fabrics. You want warm, I think warm, cozy, like blankets, soft fabrics, textures. They talk about, a couple videos have said like you want to have blankets like on every couch, every chair, so that someone knows that they can go up and feel like cozy, right, when they're sitting. This is something that my mother-in-law and her mother, I'll just call her my grandmommy, Britain's grandma, that they do this so well, and they do something else. We're going to get to that in a point, but this is something that I've learned from them. And it's, you always feel like you can cozy right on up in their couch, their chair. There's always a blanket nearby, or soft pillows. There's always, they are so great at bringing textures in. So that's something I've done. Now in the videos, a lot of people say like, you want to just throw your blanket on the couch, throw it on the chair, like aesthetically pleasing, that it's not so prim and proper, but also like they can just grab it. It is the hardest thing in the world for me to do. I cannot just throw a blanket on the couch or chair because I'm like, it looks like someone just used it and didn't put it back. So for me, I do fold it, but it's there. It's folded on the chair. It's folded on the arm of the couch. Like it's always within reach. People know that they can grab it. Yeah. So that's my only thing. Someone did say on one of their videos though, that they ended up bringing Hue-gah into their bedroom. That sounds odd, but what she did is she no longer uses a top sheet. She only has the fitted sheet, and then her comforter. Now she has a duvet comforter, so that's why, or cover. So that's why she said, I feel better doing this because I can take off the cover and I can wash it. So she's not worried about that. Now this was the hardest thing for me to do, guys. Little side tangent. When Britt and I went to, the first bowl game as a married couple, I remember we would have breakfast with other players and their wives, and we were at breakfast one day and we were just talking, and it got on the topic of the flat sheets, that top sheet, and who uses it and who doesn't. And you guys, we were literally cut down the middle of people who like it and people who don't. I like it. Britain does not. He hates top sheets because he's like, oh, it makes it more hotter, or you get all like wrapped up in it. And me, I'm like, I'm not as bad as my grandma who's like Fort Knox tucking them in, but I do like a little security. So he knows I would get into bed, and if it was not straight or it was tangled, I would, if he's asleep, I'm like, sweetie, get up. We are making this straight. So it became this battle. So when I heard this girl say this the other day, I was like, oh my gosh. She said it claimed to make her feel more cozy when she's in bed. And I was like, I'm just going to try this. So I took the top sheet off at the beginning of this month without telling Britton. And I was like, I'm just going to see. And you guys, I have not put it back on. Like, it is so much more cozier, which I can't believe I'm saying that. I am an avid Top Sheet fan. Like, I can't believe I did it. Britain is as happy as can be, like so happy that we don't have to deal with it, but it literally has changed. Like, I get so cozy in bed now. I have a great comforter too that also helps, but it's just like I'm instantly, I can feel that comforter. You know, before it was, I felt like I had good sheets, but it's just different. So that's another little tip for you if you're trying to add more cozy textures. Okay, soothing scents. So obviously we talked about like if you're having your candles, if you have a favorite candle scent, awesome. Diffuser. I love that. I've got a diffuser in my living room and my kitchen that connect, and I always put the same oil in each one. So it just fills up my entire home on this bottom floor, and it's great. I love it. But they also talk about home cooked food, baked goods. Like, that's a huge part of Hue-gah, is you creating something, but especially like home cooked meals. He talks about in the book how this is something that can bring, you know, obviously people together, but he's like, this is just a part of life that I think a lot of people overlook because it's just so convenient to go get some food somewhere else to bring it home. But he said, if you just take that time and you're the one creating it and building it, you're making that scent. It just adds more. And you know, like if you come home and you can smell dinner cooking, you're in heaven easily, just like that. So baking also, we love that. I think he made a comment once that he's like, there's a reason Danish people don't live long, but also they die happy. And that hit me in a way that I was like, huh, good to know. But it's true. I'm like, would you rather live a longer life in the search or the pursuit of happiness, or live a shorter life dying happy? Something to think about. It's a little deep. Okay, we've got two more. Handmade vintage items. Now, this is something I want to go back to my mother-in-law and grandmother. Grandmommy. Sorry, that's weird to say grandmother. Her name is Grandmommy. This is something that they do so well. And spoiler, we're going to have my mother-in-law on next week. But her and her mom are just, I don't know how they do it. Grandmommy is an avid thrift store shopper, and she can find the most amazing items that are, you know, vintage or have been handmade, and she brings them home, and they could look like literally they were $5 on the shelf at DI, and then when she puts them in her home, you're like, oh my gosh, you must have gone to an art museum and picked that up. Like, she's amazing. And a lot of those things have gone to September, my mother-in-law. But also September she's learned from her mother as well. That, like, when you go into both of their homes, you just feel like there's so much culture and life and love, because a lot of those things are handmade or they are vintage. Like, they are from a long time ago. So that is something that they talk about, like handmade ceramics. Again, anything handmade that's like dealt with wood, vintage items. Those are things that are apparently Hue-gah. So I've been trying to do that more. Okay, sorry, I said two. That was actually the last one. But the biggest thing, like I said, this is the aesthetic. Do not go out and buy all these things. Work at it. See what you've got first. A lot of times you have a lot of these things. And again, maybe it's just putting a blanket on your couch to start it. Maybe it's just turning on a lamp. You know, that is just the start of Hue-gah. Okay. All right. We're going to go into the lifestyle portion. And this, I think this is truly what the aesthetic part, of course, is big and does aid to Hue-gah, but the lifestyle part, that is truly the meat. Is that what they say? The bread and butter? What is that saying? Anyway, this is really what makes Hue-gah Hue-gah. Okay. So you've created the space that you want to spend time in. You've got that. But now how are we going to build that into a lifestyle? So very big thing about the Danes. They're very big on being intentional, being present, being in the moment. They do not multitask. And that was a very hard one for me to understand, let alone have been trying to do, but I've gotten much better. And I have seen the benefits of it so much. So they are very big about, when you're building that Hue-gah moment, it is giving you time to just kind of calm down and just kind of be in the moment. But that is something that they're like, if you're sitting down to dinner with your spouse, your family, whoever, you're not pulling out your phone at the same time. You're not checking emails when you're playing with your kids, or you're not trying to watch TV and do homework at the same time. Like, it's very big about being intentional about what you're doing at that moment. I was watching another video about this that someone was just telling me like why Denmark is the way it is. And they were talking about how they live a very healthy work and balanced work home life. When they're at work, they're at work. But when they're at home, they're at home. Work does not come home. But they also have really great like holidays and breaks and stuff that help them to kind of calm down. They're not letting work get the best of them, and they get to be home and be around the people they love. So I think that contributes a lot to why they are claimed. They have gone in a couple of years that they are like the happiest country. I think who came in first this year? Is it Finland? Is that who I'm thinking of? Is it Norway? One of them. Anyway, but I think around that region, they kind of all follow in this pattern. So big thing, whatever you're doing, do that one thing. Do not try to multitask. This is also a great thing. Remember my little episode about detoxing from social media? Maybe good to go listen to that one again, but maybe during the months of January and February, if you are someone who really struggles with seasonal depression, and if you can, I strongly suggest maybe just do a detox for those 2 months, just 2 months. Britton started doing a detox just because like he had the thought, I think it was around the middle of October that he's like, I need to get off social media. And he's been off. He hasn't set a date when he wants to come back, but I've checked in with him a couple of times and he's like, no. It's been such a good help to him. And he is someone who clinically has depression. We're going to get him on to talk about that in January. But he has said like just being off social media alone has really helped him to focus. And he's like, wow, I didn't realize how much time I actually have and I was using on social media. So just a thought. Think about it. Okay. Minimalistic home-like living with also tidy home invites Hue-gah. Okay, now you could think this is an aesthetic, which I guess it could be too, but I really do feel like this is a lifestyle trait for Hue-gah. I was supposed to record this episode last night. Britton had left to California and I was left with the boys all day and the house was just in disarray. It always gets that way when it's just me. I feel like the boys go like all in. They're like, we're going to take down mom because dad's not here. So my house always gets super dirtier like the day Britton leaves. So I was just planning like, I'll just leave it there. I knew I was going to clean it today, Saturday, but I'll do my episode. And every time I was coming in to get ready to go do the episode, I just was like feeling so drudged down. I was just like, no, I don't know. I'm really tired. I don't think I could do this episode. And especially with what hearing this whole concept is, I was like, I have to really be in it. I can strongly attest to having just even a tidy space, how much more that can bring in Hue-gah. There is just so much more peace and good feelings that you have when your space is in order. There's so much of that. Now, I've seen a couple videos that talked about like, well, Hue-gah is basically living a minimalistic lifestyle. Yes and no. In the way of minimalism, it talks about having things that you truly love, right? Marie Kondo, we know. However, and some people have said the same thing too. You can still have more things than what would look like minimalistic if they are truly what brings you joy and love. Because that's the point of Hue-gah, right? You're creating a space that you love. So you can have a little bit more things. It doesn't just have to be like a shelf and a chair and one plant. Minimalistic. No, you can very much have a bookshelf filled with books, chair with a blanket strewn across, like plants all around, whatever is going to make you happy, but have it in order. That is what I think the biggest thing is with you guys, that everything has its place. Go watch, what is it? The home edit. Hello. We know that. Love that. But honestly, like today I have just cleaned my entire house. And even now as I'm sitting here, I've got the candles, but everything is like in its place. I call it, like I've been calling it, I need to reset the house for the next day. So right now it's in its stage that we've reset. When I get done with this episode, I will put everything away and my kitchen will be all put to bed. And I just think it's then I get to wake up in the morning and I get to start it with everything in its place. And it really adds to it. I've heard that more from videos. I assume it's in the book, but if not, I really do think that is a part that needs to be incorporated with Hue-gah, especially in times where we don't need to feel like taken over by all of our stuff, especially at a time where it's like, oh, I'm already feeling down. Okay. All right. Warm and cozy clothing. Hue-gah has affected my wardrobe and my mood because of it entirely. So we were talking about the textures, right? Well, a lot of people in their video said, well, I did this to my wardrobe too. I got really cozy knit sweaters, scarves, fuzzy socks. As I'm doing this episode right now, you guys, I have a fuzzy cardigan. I've got on super soft leggings. I've got on fuzzy socks. It has affected me in the best way possible. So little side note, in winter, I don't know why. I hate wearing coats. I hate wearing, oh my gosh, you guys, Britton is literally texting me like, we're going out in 15 minutes. I got to get this going. Okay. But when I would go out into like with winter, I would just hurry and put on like socks and sandals, put on a hoodie, and run out. I never really prepared for winter. And I think that's why I hated winter, because I'm like, oh, I'm always so cold. But I never wanted to put in the effort of getting ready to go outside. Hue-gah has changed that completely. I saw in someone's video, they put a quote like something along the lines of like, the reason people hate winter is because they're not dressed properly to be out in the cold. It was something along that lines. I think I just butchered it completely, but that's what it meant to me. And I was like, okay, well, yeah, a big part of my seasonal depression is I hate it being cold. So I just need to make sure I'm warm. So in my house, same thing. But especially when I'm going out, and you guys, it has I'm like, oh, I could totally go outside. I feel great. It's amazing. And someone out there is probably thinking I am the biggest dope for just figuring out how to dress for winter, but you know what I mean? Cause like I said, a sweatshirt, socks and sandals, that sounds good, but no. Actually layering, that's a big thing. I think they do talk about that in the book, like adding layers, a long sleeve, a cardigan, a scarf, a beanie, fuzzy socks, boots, thermal leggings, pants, like all that. It sounds like a lot, but it really does change and affect your mood with outside, which going into our next part, they do talk about going outside every day. That is a for sure mood booster. Since I feel like I can actually now be outside with my clothes, I enjoy going outside no matter, obviously if it's a blizzard, I'm not going outside, but when it's just like, oh, it's just cloudy, it's a little nippy outside, but I still can go outside, go take a walk with the boys, get them all bundled up with me as well. I enjoy it. I really do. And I think that's a huge part that a lot of people just don't. We don't go outside every day, especially in the winter. So even if it's like, look, I can't go on a walk, I don't want to do that. Just even getting out in your car, just go and drive around. I think that's at least a little bit better than just staying in your home all day, which is funny because Hue-gah's kind of like creating a space you want to be in, but you know what I mean? Okay. We're getting close. Have a relaxing hobby, whatever that looks like to you. Mine currently is crocheting. I've been working on a blanket for the past 4 years. You guys, I made it too big. Like to do an entire chain, if you know crocheting, you know what I'm talking about, takes me an hour. This blanket is going to be like a California king size bed blanket. I can't wait till it's done. But anyway, so that's relaxing hobby. But creating a ritual. This is kind of summing everything up. This is what I've been doing every morning and night with Hue-gah is when I get up, I come downstairs, I turn my space heater on, I turn the Christmas lights on and I start making the hot cocoa. Then I get my books, I get my blanket, I get the hot cocoa ready. I go sit in my recliner and I turn on, you guys, this is the best invention. YouTube has something, and one of the videos told me you can search this. All you have to search is cozy ambiance. I've got it going on in the background right now. It literally is like a coffee shop scene with soothing jazz music or nature sounds, whatever it is, because it's Christmas time. You can search Christmas cozy ambiance. It's amazing. It totally sets the mood. So that is what I do. And it's just, I look so forward to my mornings. 5 a.m., I'm up and running out of bed, getting my fuzzy socks on, running downstairs. Like, this is something I enjoy. And I crave this little time, and I strongly suggest it. And now Britton and I have even started doing night rituals that before, we'd put the boys to bed, and then we'd watch some TV, kind of just saunter around, and then we'd go upstairs, and it's like, okay, maybe turn the TV on and fall asleep. Now it's like, okay, go put the boys to bed, make sure the house is reset, and then we go get ready for bed, and we sit in bed, and we have our lamps on, and we usually read now. And then once we're done, we talk a little about what we read, and then we go to sleep, and we don't have the TV on. And it's so crazy. Like, I'm going to do a whole episode about a sleep routine for yourself. You guys know I did one for the babies, but I'm really like something Britt and I have been doing this. Like I said, I incorporate it with Hue-gah, but there's a whole nother thing. Anyway, just having a ritual, that is a part of Hue-gah. When your brain doesn't have to think, when you're not making it go into overdrive, what do I got to do next? When it already knows, here's the ritual, here's the routine, it's a happy brain. And I think that's what Hue-gah does. It gives you that routine, that ritual. And lastly, someone said on their video that basically Hue-gah is content with what you have and the quantities of what you have. So you're not trying to get more. You're just happy with what you've got. And that is something that at the end of this all, Meik Wiking, he said, Hue-gah is a feeling. It's not a consumer product. So like I said, even though I talked about those aesthetic things, you can pick a candle up here or there, but you don't need to go out. You can't go buy Hue-gah. You build Hue-gah. It's a feeling, Someone said, Hue-gah when you feel it because it's like a hug, just without the touch. But I mean that. When I had the hair girls come over, Ashley, we were in my living room, she's like, it's so cozy and homey in here. And I about died. I was like, you feel it. You do, yes. Because I feel it. But when other people feel it, you're like, okay, this is great. So here we are. I've got a football game that's going to start in 7 minutes, which that is my Hue-gah. The boys are asleep because this game is so late. I'm going to go upstairs. I'm going to go get in my bed. I'm going to crochet, and I'm going to watch Britain on TV. That is my Saturday evening. But I hope you took something from this. If anything, please incorporate one or two of these things. Seasonal depression is awful. It's so awful. And I don't want anyone to feel like they can't do it, that they just can't. They're looking towards, January, February, those crushing months that they can be with no hope. This is that hope. I strongly believe it. And like I said, it's easy right now to do this stuff. One of my friends said this, well, yeah, Hue-gah's easy now because it's Christmas. But I really believe that this is what will carry me through to spring, and you too, should you need it. All right, you guys, I love you. I love being able to have this place to come and talk to you. Please interact back with me. Feel free to DM me, to comment, to rate, review, subscribe. I don't have a YouTube channel, so you can't really subscribe, but you can follow. You can follow my podcast and share. Just share it out to anyone who you think might need it. But again, I love you. I'm so grateful for you. I'm thankful that you're here, and we will see you next week. Bye.